everyone feels like they're alone. They feel like they're the one that is, trying to overcome the thing, and they don't feel like anybody else is overcoming that or facing that same situation. And the thing I hear regularly and see regularly is, oh my gosh, we discovered we're not alone, because, the industry is evolving so fast.
Chad Peterman here, and you are listening to Can't Stop the Growth, a platform for leaders and teams to grow and thrive. We highlight the importance of personal development, pursuing greatness, and always chasing your potential. Let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Can't Stop the Growth. I'm your host, Chad Peterman, and today I am really excited to talk about what you're listening to and what it has turned into. So have David Gregory on the podcast with me today. David heads up a lot of what we're building on top of this podcast. So if you're listening, I hope you gain a lot of value out of this, whether it be a guest or a leadership training or, unfortunately, sometimes me just talking. But hopefully you're getting value out of that. I think our goal and what we want to talk about today is kind of the ancillary stuff that we're building on top of the podcast to hopefully deliver even more value. And so, David, I guess first question for you as we kind of build this is like maybe give like listeners a glimpse into kind of what we are building on top of kind of the podcast. We've been doing the podcast since 2018. It started as kind of a way to communicate internally with folks. Most of our guys are out there on the streets in their vehicles, so a podcast seemed logical, and then it's kind of grown into this. But maybe speak to some of the things that we're building on top of the podcast.
Yeah, good question. First, it's so many owners are looking up to people like you and others who have done it well, and so they're looking for answers, solutions. Everybody's trying to solve similar things. And we started with this idea of, if we can put people in the same room who are trying to solve the same things and with the same mindset of collaboration versus competition, and then looking for the tools and resources to do that. So, the first thing we're building is a community for that. And it's an online community we've named the Arena. And it's like Facebook meets LinkedIn meets a tool and resource portal library, and the purpose of it is to provide a online space that you can host events, do cool stuff, but provide a collaboration place for people to get better, to share information, and support and inspire each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if anything that I've seen over the last couple of years, there's a lot of information out there, which is a good thing. If I look back on when I kind of started, there wasn't a whole lot online. There were a couple of different groups. You kind of had to meet people kind of still organically, which is weird to say. 2015, that was the case. But yeah, I mean, I think with the Arena, the goal is to create a space where people can share, hey, I got this problem. Has anybody figured this out? And that's not to say that I have the answer, but I think, I've always been told that the answer's in the room somewhere. And the goal is, I think, to create this arena space so that people who are curious can go places and get vetted information. It's not just typing in a Google search and, well, I guess we'll roll with this. So I guess, David, the next piece that I would ask you, obviously there's probably listeners out there like, oh, okay, this sounds kind of interesting, like a place to go get information or resources and so on and so forth. What have you seen from the people that are already in there or the people that are curious about joining? Like, what is the ideal person who's like contributing and learning and doing all the things? Like, what does that ideal member kind of look like in your eyes?
Yeah, the thing I see the most, Chad, is that everyone feels like they're alone. That they feel like they're the one that is, trying to overcome the thing, and they don't feel like anybody else is overcoming that or facing that same situation. And the thing I hear regularly and see regularly is, oh my gosh, we discovered we're not alone, because, the industry is evolving so fast. I mean, it is evolving so fast, and everything is changing so fast. And so that leaves the everyday owner who's in his business, working in his business, trying to look for answers and not knowing for sure where to go is what's working. As you said, there's so much information out there and it's changing so fast. So they're looking to the person that's saying, hey, who's doing what that's working? how can I implement in that in my business, and providing a place where people openly share and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I found. Here's the company that I found that does that well. That's what people are looking for, because it's changing so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think too, there's the one thing that I think that we've kind of set out to do and kind of made, kind of front facing is there's the operational side of, how to do business, how to run a call effectively, how to, what are the processes and procedures. But then there's this other side for especially owners and, service managers, people that are leading other people, is there's this whole area of leadership development that I think is, I'm a firm believer in. You got to lead yourself before you can lead others, and, really trying to put that message out there as well, as it works in conjunction. It's really difficult to execute operationally if, you're not leading yourself and you don't have the buy-in of your team and so on and so forth. And I feel like we get a lot of questions around that, like, how do I get the buy-in, or what should I do here, or whatever the challenge may be. I guess from what you've seen, what are some of the other, like, maybe more so in the leadership vein, that people in the arena that we've seen, them bring certain issues to the forefront that, we're able to hopefully solve together?
Man, what a great question. So I would break that up into three increments. One, you have the guy who has gotten a level of success because he's good. He's a hustler and he's made it happen. And he gets to a level of success and he owns everything. What he knows and how he does it is the right way. And so he caps himself at a certain place, because what he doesn't know how to do is lead people or empower people. He knows that what I do is best, and I'm wearing all the hats, and there's a little friction because people want to do certain things, and I'm hanging on to the power, and I'm afraid to give up control because they're going to fail and they're not going to do it as good as me. So that's one level, and they're looking for ways to break that chain, because it's a chain that owners find themselves in. So there's one level. The second level is the next level of success, where they've got a couple managers, and how can I scale them and lead them and do it well. And then there's, I would call it the third level of, now I have a layer of management that I'm trying to train and lead and grow and empower them to lead well. And a big thank you to you, because you've done a good job of laying out this, grow your people and you'll grow your business. And man, when people embrace that and do it well at those three levels, and that's what you see people trying to solve.
Yeah.
The owners that get it are trying to solve that.
Yeah. I mean, I think if there's anything, and, I've talked to probably at this point hundreds of business owners in the home services space, and I feel like there's always one commonality when you're talking to somebody who has hit, a ceiling, or, can't jump over this particular revenue wall or whatever it is. And oftentimes I feel like it's not an operational thing. It's not like you didn't reach the level that you're at because you were a terrible operator and you just kind of fell into it. You knew how to do that stuff. But what I've also understood is that to get over certain revenue levels, the key is you growing as a leader and developing leaders within your organization, because there's only so many hours in the damn day that you can do work at. So you can try to work harder than anybody else, but there's a cap to that. And at some point in time, you've got to empower those around you and seek out information, and surround yourself with other great leaders that are doing really cool things. Because what I've learned about leadership is, you're going to pick up things, you're going to try things, you're going to, that didn't work, well, let's try something different, so on and so forth. And sometimes you just need that support. What are you seeing from, I guess maybe if I'm sitting out there thinking about, oh, well, this may be a good, useful resource, I'm thinking about, well, what's kind of the daily activity look like? Like, what could someone expect, and the resources that are available there?
Man, great question. It's interesting. As we just, describe those three levels of leaders. Yesterday, I was on a call with a contractor who's hit one of those ceilings, and he's having all kinds of friction on his team and all the things. And I asked him, have you been in the arena? And he's like, no, I haven't. And I was like, have you been on one of the leadership trainings that we offer? And he's like, no. And it's crazy because I've literally on the leadership trainings that we offer, that you do some and others, and have addressed the struggle that he faces. And he's like, man, I just don't know how to solve this. We offer, one of the things that at Peterman Brothers, you started this leadership training that we broadcast live in the arena. It's broadcast live every Tuesday, 8:30 a.m., 30 minutes. Many people are actually having their whole leadership teams come in and sit in on this. It's really cool. Rooms of leaders sitting in one company, sitting in, participating in this. And I know it rotates between you and Andrew Hasty, who's the COO here. Great content. We also do John Maxwell leadership training every month. It's once a month. We have a chat with Chad, which my friend Chad Peterman here gets on and just answers questions people are trying to solve, many of them around leadership stuff. And then we have leadership material. So we have a resource library with, how to lead one-on-ones, how to coach your people, how to grow your people. And we're working on a lot more content around that, but there's weekly activities that are free. Every single one of them are free. And then we have, of course, coaching and stuff available for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the reason behind a lot of this stuff is obviously, when we were smaller here at Peterman Brothers, you don't have all the resources. So you're just kind of throwing stuff together, figuring things out, whatever it may be. And the one question I get asked is, we do leadership training at Peterman here every Tuesday at 8:30 without fail, every single Tuesday. We will not miss a Tuesday. It is the thing. And a lot of people ask me like, well, how do you do that? Like, what's that look like? And I was just like, I just like literally, I have a book and I just teach a chapter a week and that's just what we do. And it's probably a very terrible answer for something like, oh crap, that's all I have to do. And so, to David's point, we've opened up every Tuesday morning, we live stream our leadership training here at Peterman Brothers, which you can just watch. If you're not a person that wants to get up in front of people, that's perfect. I'll do it for you. And so there's just a ton of content there that you can repurpose, reuse. As I tell people, just copy the damn thing. I don't care. I didn't come up with it. I'm just literally regurgitating and putting my own little spin, on things like that. And then the Q&As that we have, it's one of the things that I enjoy the most because selfishly, I get to feel smart for a couple of minutes. But it's also answering questions. And I think that the power really comes in that not just me answering, but here recently we've had more people chiming in going, hey, maybe you ought to check out this because we tried this and it really worked. And so now we're getting to where people are feeling comfortable enough or they've tried something and can kind of reaffirm like, oh yeah, that works. We tried it. It's awesome. So I think it all goes back to trying to create that community where people feel safe to say, hey, I'm struggling with this. If there's anything that's difficult, it's talking about something that you're not good at. Talking about something that's not going well, and then really looking for help in that. So I think for anybody that's interested or thinking about it, it literally like just join and you'll figure out if you like it or not. If it's not for you, then so be it. My guess is that it probably will be if you lean into it because there's a lot of smart contractors already in the arena and being active daily, helping each other out and so on and so forth. So,
hey, Chad, I want to add something to that. It's cool. I think my favorite thing about what we've created is we're trying to change the home services industry, level up leadership, regardless of what business best practice group you're a part of. I was talking to someone yesterday who's a part of a different group and they have been to all the trainings that we do. And it's like, look, we're trying to raise a community, build a community that supports and elevates each other. It's not about, oh, we want you to be a part of this group or you can't be a part of this group. Man, if you're a part of a different group, we'll celebrate that and support you and help us elevate each other. That's all we're trying to do. And so it's really for every owner who gives a damn about their people, that actually cares about, I want to grow my people and grow my business and leadership. I love how the intention around what we're doing is, processes. That's all very important, but building this movement that really levels up leadership is what I'm most excited about, regardless of what size you are.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And, again, if you're a part of another group, it's not like we're teaching, like they're teaching, Chinese and we're teaching English. It's all the same stuff. I think our hope is is to provide not only the operational stuff, which you can get just about anywhere. It's more so the leadership development, because how to run a service call, you can go to any place, anywhere, and they're going to teach you about the same way to do it. I think where sometimes we forget is that leadership development piece, how we can provide resources to hopefully create better leaders within our companies. And when we do that, the execution becomes easier, because it's not just you trying to execute, it's everybody on your team is trying to execute what the plan is. So I think that's exciting. David, I guess maybe speak to, like, we've talked about the arena. That's a place where people can come, they can, utilize our resources, they can chat with, each other, they can utilize some of the live stuff that we're doing. I guess maybe what else are we building on, or speak to that on top of kind of this community piece? That's kind of the base, kind of the building block foundation, if you will. What are the other stuff? What are the other things that we're thinking about as we continue to build this thing?
Well, you're opening a can of worms by asking me that, because
Yeah.
it's the most exciting thing I've ever been a part of. Basically, what we're doing is, the simplest way to put it is, the learning and development department that Peterman built and helped Peterman achieve the success that you've done. It's intention around communication, the science of communication, providing the best customer service possible, and doing that in every segment of the business. So we've tried to take what was created for the Peterman learning and development and replicate it and offer it as a resource to every contractor who's trying to achieve that level of success, and doing it in a different way. I think I agree with you that, the processes are all very similar, and many of the places teach a lot of the same things. The thing that I love is the intention around providing a great customer experience, doing it with integrity, providing options, and the results are ridiculous. So the results are undeniable, and they are what they are. But, basically taking the learning and development, so for sales, for service, for CSR, for install, for leadership, for that mid-level leadership, you name it, all of it, and then offering it as a service to, from the $3 million contractor in Florida that I was on a call with this morning, to the $7 million contractor in Illinois, to the $20 million guy in Maryland, all of them using this to have their own learning and development department to grow their people and learn best practices. And I tell you what, someone said the best way to achieve happiness is to help someone else achieve their goals. And I get to see that. I get to see, with what we've created, kind of stealing, if I can be honest. Guess I'll go to jail for this, but we're stealing the Peterman best way and replicating it and offering it to anybody who's trying to level up.
Yeah. No, I think that you're spot on with that. It's, as I said earlier, when you're growing, you don't have all the, the resources that, a larger company has. And I think the goal in this is to utilize some of that we've already created and already built, and let's just share that, because I think that as we all work to get better, the industry gets better, and I think that's what we're truly after. And I think the other thing that I would add is, my hope in doing this and being able to offer the training that we're going to offer, and in the manner that which we're going to offer it, my hope is that it adds a layer of accountability. I think that if there's anything that I have craved over, the last, 14 years I've been doing this, is when you're sitting in the owner's seat, there's not a whole lot of people to hold you accountable. And if you're like me, I need that accountability there. Hey, you need to do this by this date. You need to get this implemented, and people following up, and a community that's behind you of hey, you said you were going to do that. Have you done it? Well, I got tied up. Okay, well, when are you going to have it done by? And so my goal is to create kind of that community that holds each other accountable, and is driving each other's business forward, because when we have multiple people rowing in the same direction, not only on our team, but also outside of our team and the communities that we hang out with, the people which we associate with, the people that are having success. I think ultimately we raise the level of our own kind of aptitude and ability to operate. So I'm really excited about this. I think that, it's been something that I've probably been doing on and off for years now, where people reach out and, hey, can you answer this? Or do you have 5 minutes for a call? And I think this is a way to hopefully kind of create some standardization around the ability to deliver information. We've also got tours here that we do every other month, and those are posted in the community, and it's just an exciting time that I think the one thing that I've been so blessed to be in is the industry of home services, because there's so many people that are willing to share. Our hope with this is we can share on an even increased level, which is exciting. David, I guess if someone's listening to this and they're like, well, I mean, this seems kind of like a no-brainer, really. I mean, I just join and get to talk to people and get to, solve problems. What's kind of the best way for them to join the community?
Yeah. Well, don't wait. Do it right away. Go to can'tstopthegrowth.com. We've tried to make it super simple, super easy. Can'tstopthegrowth.com. There's two actions I would encourage you to take. One, very first thing, click join the arena. You should be able to get right in. And then go into the learning and development section and click book a call. Book a call just to ask questions. Let us share with you everything that we're building out. It's built with the intention for you. That is who it's built for. Chad, I'll share. We have these growth teams in which we put people in the same revenue bucket we mentioned earlier. And we had a group that started at the beginning, and six companies in this group. And about 3 months ago, one of them called me, sent me a text and said, hey, David, 911, can I talk? I'm having a rough day. So I call him, and he was going through a devastating situation in his business. He's about a $11 million contractor. And he shares with me just a surprise issue. And I'm like, man, we talked about it for a while. I didn't have the answers. And I was driving down the road and I thought, I'll call someone else in his grow team. And I reached out to them and they connected with him. By the end of the day, every single person in his grow team had connected with him. And this issue drug out for about 2 months. It came to resolution this last week. And he called me the day it came to resolution in tears. He actually was in tears, and he's not a emotional guy. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, and I could see myself doing that, but he's not that guy. And he said, man, when I got into this, I was expecting best practice group. Like, here's the best way to do this. There's the best way to do this. What I didn't anticipate was this level of depth and support. People that genuinely care about each other and really care about the humanity side of it. Like, hey, let's be better people. Let's grow people. And then let's support people when you're in times of trouble. So I think that's what, Can't Stop the Growth, the culture is. It's about, look, it's not about a lot of flashy bells and whistles, and you're not going to have anybody out puffing their chest and beating their chest, but how can we genuinely help and support each other? Just be better people and also be better businesses. So can'tstopthegrowth.com, join the arena, book a call. Let's get this going.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'll second that. We ain't going to be flashy. We're all about getting things done, working hard, and growing as business leaders and people in general. So if you're apprehensive, again, yeah, let us know. I don't know that there's a reason to be apprehensive, unless you're, maybe apprehensive about sharing some of your struggles. But guess what? Everybody's struggling. I tell many of our members today, or they tell me, they're like, well, you're kind of like this is kind of like nice to talk to you, and it's not nice to talk to you, but because it seems like that there's always going to be things that you have to solve for. Oh, yeah. We got plenty. I've got a laundry list of things that we need to fix or get better at or whatever it is. So it's never going to stop. And to me, leadership is much the same. We're never going to stop being leaders in life, whether that is in business or after business or whatever it is. And to me, this is all about how do we help more and more people? How do we expand our influence to take what we've learned to the things we've screwed up, to the things that we've succeeded at, whatever it is, and hopefully share that with a number of other people. So as David said, go to can'tstopthegrowth.com. We just finished building out the website not too long ago. We're going to continue to add resources and other things that you can utilize on there, but that'll get you into the arena, which then, you'll have access to all the leadership training every Tuesday, and a bunch of other stuff that hopefully you find beneficial. And the biggest piece would be your willingness to contribute to the group. I'm really excited about the people that we have in it and the things that we are going to do into the future. The goal is not to stop here, but to continue to develop programs and resources that people find valuable, and that people can continue to grow their companies with. So again, thanks for taking a little bit of time to listen to us. We told you how to get there. There'll be a link in the show notes as well that'll take you right there. But just know that we're super excited about you and your growth, and where we can get together.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to connect with me personally, you can find me at chadmpeterman.com. To see what our team's up to, you can visit petermanbros.com. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel and consider joining the CSTG arena. As always, keep growing out there.